Welcome back to this episode of the podcast. What I'm going to be working on or talking about today is just community. And this is something that I'm struggling with right now. So hopefully we can reference this later on, how I overcame it and how I did better. But I've been reading Superfans by Pat Flynn. Um, and so far, this has been a really good book. I remember listening to it maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago as an audiobook. And then I was on Amazon buying books and I was like, you know what? Let's buy this because I think the next hurdle that I'm having right now is converting people who watch my channel into super fans and giving them, I don't know, like a better experience. And I just want to turn the people who come across my content into fans because I'd like to just, I don't know, actually. I don't know why I want to do that, but I do. And I think that's a very important thing. Like you look at other successful YouTubers or businesses, they have a very good way of turning people who would passively be a part of the business into fans. And I think the people who can do that the best are the more successful ones. Danny Duncan's a good example. Like, how is he doing 150 million in merch? He's making everybody who watches his video into I mean, not everybody, but a good percentage into a super fan who feels like they're kind of resonating with him more. I was just watching his podcast on the Nine Club and he talked quite a bit about that. And I guess actually he said a lot of the designs would be fine without him or without his content. I don't know if I agree with that. Like, I'm just, some random guy passively disagreeing here, but I think that him being him and selling his merch through his videos is a really big thing. He says that he would do that without it because in Spencer's it's like a gag gift and stuff like that. And maybe part of that's true, but the amount is still, like, I'd say really significant what he would do just through his YouTube channel if it wasn't like that. And so anyway, with my content, I think what I need to do to take my brand to the next level is figure out how to build up super fans and resonate more with my audience. I'm currently splitting like my main brand into a second brand. Like, what built that brand up, I'm going to switch over to a second brand and YouTube channel. And then I'm going to pivot the type of content that's on my main channel into more vlog and personal style stuff that's around me and my experience versus information content. And this is a whole new journey for me. I've spent a lot of my time trying to figure out how to master information content, but the whole influencer side of it is very new to me and something that I have a hard time with. It definitely makes me a little nervous. It just feels weird from time to time. And so this is a big change, but I think on that channel, for it to be successful, I need to have super fans. And so building a community is one of the things that's mentioned quite a bit in the book. And he talks about building up a community for your fans and giving them the stage so that they have the opportunity to express themselves and also be a fan. And I started this, I don't know how long ago. I built up a Discord, and the Discord was just, very small when it started, like virtually nobody. And then over time, I just kept the link in the videos. I kept making Q&A videos on my other channel and pointing people there, like, hey, if you have a question, go here to get your question answered and be a part of the community. And from that, like, we're probably close to 2,000 members. And again, it's just all been passive, like say it in the videos, leave the links, and like build it up that way. And I would say there's a good amount of invites coming from internal members. And so this is really cool to build a community and be a community leader, but then it also hinges on how active I am in there. And that's something that I have a hard time with. Sometimes I just don't feel like being on Discord. But with that, one of the things I experienced is I was very passive. I have a handful of mods who would take care of everything. And then I started getting some like backlash and messages from people wondering why they got banned from the Discord. And I'm like, honestly, I don't know. Like, I haven't been in there. I don't know. But I do trust my mod's judgment. And that's the thing too, is like, I trust them 100% and I agree with the decisions that they make for the most part. And so I want to have their back, but I also need to know what's going on. And it just became a very stressful week with that because it happened a number of times and there was a number of people like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. So I had to figure that out. I had to get to the bottom of it. And it makes the brand look bad in a way. If people are like, if I didn't have that community there, they would just watch the YouTube channels, they'd be fine. But now that I have the community, they watch the YouTube channels, they try and connect with me on a deeper level, and then they get banned and then they hate me. And so I'm trying to figure out the balance with that is like, yes, it's okay. And I think if there's a good reason for people to get kicked out of the community, then there's a good reason for it. And that's that. But if there's not a good reason, then I need to have better control on that. So I'm kind of at this like catch 22 where I could strip that power away from my moderators, which might discourage them and then them not want to be a part of the community at all. And to be fair, I feel like I need them to a certain extent. I mean, I do need them, especially in the 1500 and the community with 1500 people. So it's just a very tough thing. And I try and weigh the pros and cons. What I think I'll be spending the next little bit, well, here, okay, let me finish the story. So with all of that stress, I found Mighty Networks, which is something I looked into for my paid course community. And I built up a Mighty Network. And the cool thing about Mighty Network is I get a custom domain, so I can have a custom URL for that community section. And I can also have the community public, but if people want to interact in the community, they have to join. And so anyway, I spent about a week setting all of that up. It integrates with ConvertKit, which is what I use for my emails, and it integrates really well. So the goal was like, okay, well, I'm going to delete the Discord with 1,500 people. I'm going to build up this new community that I'm paying $40 a month for. And we're just going to build that up. I'll feature members of the community through the emails because it integrates really good. I'm going to quit phasing people out of my email list. I'm going to put all 11,000 people that have been phased out back into my email list and just pay the high ass price for emails and do a newsletter and like incorporate the community and just boom. And I messed with that for about 2 weeks. I didn't add all my emails. I was like, well, you know what? I'll just stop phasing people out. And so since then, my email list has grown from 300 to 1,000, and it's just been a couple of months. So like I could hit that number pretty quickly. But as that happens, the price keeps going up. And so if within the community or within the emails, I'm not breaking even, it's really not worth it. And so I'm scratching my head here while I'm reading this book, trying to figure out, okay, do I need to have a community? And I think the answer is yes. Within the community, I get a lot of content and I give my tribe a place to interact and a place to do stuff. I don't know what the right community is. I don't think Discord's the right community, but over time, I don't think Mighty Networks is the right community either. It's been a lot better for me, but for the users of it, they find the experience very clunky. And so now I'm playing around. I'm trying to figure out what the right thing is. And so I'm going to spend a lot of time messing with the Discord and trying to straighten that out. Maybe I'm just going to keep the Discord. It would save me $40 a month. And Mighty Networks, I can have a paywall. But now after listening to a different podcast, I don't know if I want to do paywalls anymore. I'm at this very stressful spot where I feel like I had it all figured out, and then I made a bunch of changes. I spent a month working on stuff, changed my emails, changed my funnel, changed the formatting of the emails, built up this community, built the logo for the community, put it on a new domain name, deleted all the links on my YouTube videos to go to the community now instead of the Discord. And now I'm like, you know what? Maybe I don't want to do this new community. And so it's like the sunk cost principle is stressing me out. It's like, did I give it enough time to work? And it's like, no. If I really went balls to the wall, I'd just delete the Discord and go for it. And I was so close twice. I pulled it up, had the delete button. Something pissed me off. I'm like, pulled it up, had the delete button ready. I'm like, fuck this. I'm just going to push everyone to this community. It's simpler. I don't have to deal with any nonsense. But is it better? And when I take money out of it, one of the big things that inspired me to build up the Mighty Network community was to push my like channel memberships and give them special perks within that community if they became a member of my YouTube channel. I'd like to build that up into a decent monthly passive income. And so that was kind of the whole idea there. But now a few things have changed with my course and my like the course side of things, that maybe I'm not going to do that anymore, or I've got to find a better way to do it. So what I'm going to try and do, well, the whole idea of this podcast, this episode today, is to talk about community, because that's something that I've been beating my head on the wall trying to figure out. And so I guess I'm just talking to myself about all this. I don't know what the right answer is. We'll find out in a couple months, couple years, what the right answer was. But I think for now, I just need to make a decision, and I need to stick with it. And that's one thing that I have a really hard time with. I have all these different things going on. And I'm like, okay, I could do this. I could do this. I could do this. Like, there's a million different ways that I could build a community. But if I keep switching up, none of them are going to work. And I just need to decide what's best for them. And if I do that, I think it would ultimately give me what's best for me. And sometimes I overlook that. I think I get really in my head about how I can make more money, or how I can do this, or how I could do that, without thinking, like, in the short term, without thinking about the long term. And what I'm thinking about now is that I don't need a big email list. So that was one of the recent things that I decided I was going to do. Build up a huge email list, send out weekly newsletters. The weekly newsletters would push discounted affiliate items, would push the channel membership, would push things to make me money. And if I was bringing in, I guess, an extra 150 or so a month from that, then it breaks even. But I don't know that I would do that. And if I do, it does add extra work. And I guess it actually would have to be closer to 200 because to pay for Mighty Networks. So all of that just really adds up. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I think here's where I'm at right now. I'm going to keep the Mighty Network links. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to mess with the Discord instead of deleting it. I'm going to go into the Discord. I'm going to see if there's a way that I can simplify timeouts and take away banning, so it's just for me. But if people get like a certain amount of timeouts or a certain amount of reports, just like Mighty Networks, they're going to get the kick. One of the biggest things, I just need them to know why they got kicked, so they don't ask me why they got kicked. That's something that's really important. I think my mods are good. I think the Discord could be really good. I just want a community for them to talk, ask questions, share videos of themselves riding, and post pictures. And I think that's it. And I think I'm going to simplify the Discord. I'm going to push that, maybe find a way to brand it a little bit better, get rid of the Mighty Networks thing, change my email list so that I'm going to keep them in it for maybe we'll say 3 months. I have a pretty simple sequence set up. So like they join with their lead magnet, then they get an email, then they get their lead magnet a day later. And then from there, I send them follow-up emails, and I think it rolls them into like a soap opera sequence to send an email every 2 days or so, 2 or 3 days. And that's a newer thing that I started adding. I don't know, when I did all of these changes, I kind of added that, and I'm curious what those numbers look like, what my open rates are and stuff, if people are actually getting any value from that. So I'm going to pull it up right now and look, actually. Soap opera. Yeah, it's every 2 days, and there's a lot of emails set up. And let's see. The first email. Reports. I mean, to be fair, this is interesting. Like, I get so many, I just get conflicting messages. Um, Maybe I just add all the people in my email list and just go that way. I don't know. Should I pay for it? Like a lot expensive emails for a month, but I need to figure out who's still like warm. And some of these leads are really old. So maybe I just keep it. I think I'm just going to keep it building up, and maybe I'll phase them out after this. Maybe I'll keep them in for 2 more months to send like follow-up emails with an affiliate link to keep them fresh for those 3 months while they're buying other things for their bike. But the first email in the soap opera sequence, it has 240 cents and a 44% open rate. That's really good. The next one, 45%, next one, 51%, 42%, 44. And then this one's down to 28. So I've got to figure out, hey, what's going on here? Why is this one only 28%? Maybe nobody cares about that part. I'm not sure. But I guess the whole idea here is it through the soap opera sequence, it tells stories about me, and it's probably a month-long sequence. It just tells them stories about my journey, but I don't know. There's a 0% click rate on all of them, and I don't think I use a link. No, there's no links for them at all. And so maybe that's something I start adding in, like some call to action sprinkled in there is probably going to be really valuable. But that's good to know. The soap opera sequences are doing good. My subscribers are growing a lot. Like, what is it? 15 yesterday, 15 the day before, 12, 13, 20, 16. But here's the thing. Do people actually care about emails? Like 50% open rate, I'm pretty happy with. My other emails should be, let's see, what's this one? 85%. So like the lead magnet ones are the first welcome one is 85% with a 50% click rate. That's pretty good. And yeah, 80-90% on the first few, and then the soap opera doing 40. I'm impressed with that. So that's not bad. I guess I can still incorporate people in there within the, maybe I'll give them an option to phase out. I'll be like, hey, from now on, I'll send you weekly newsletters. If you're not interested, click this and then get them out. Because if they're not going to open my emails, if they're not going to be a part of the brand, I don't want them in there. And I don't want to waste the money or the time. I feel like emails are dying out. My inbox has 40,000 emails. I'm not opening most of the emails in my inbox. And if it's just like, I have such a hard time kind of thinking of the thought process, because the way that I do things is very different, I think, than a lot of people. But when I'm applying things to how I do my business, I think that I'm normal, and that's not the right way to do it. So I guess the action steps I'm going to take when I get off of here are, I'm going to add call to actions in the soap opera sequence where applicable. I'm not going to go crazy, because honestly, the point of that is just to build them a closer connection with me. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Discord. I'm going to try and get that set up in a cleaner way with better auto moderation, and and play with the idea of just keeping the community there. I think that's going to be the best option. And then the third thing I'm going to do, I think that's it. Yeah. I like ConvertKit. I'm happy. Like I switched over to Brevo to try and do this whole thing because it was cheaper and I could reach more people. But I think I'm going to keep it at ConvertKit. Like I switched back to ConvertKit after spending a week on emails in Brevo, and then I was like, well, bad idea. I do that so often, but I guess it's also fair because I'm doing it when I'm sure that it's not going to work. Like I give it an honest go, I test it out, and then I say, yeah, this doesn't work. That's kind of what I'm doing with Mighty Networks. I think it does have the potential to work, but Discord just seems better for people to be in there and use it. Like, let's see. Trying to see what the yeah, okay, 1,500 members on Discord. About 100 of them are online right now, and yeah, I don't know. I think I'm keeping them both up and kind of playing with both of them to see what's working better and what's gonna work better in the long run. But if I just have this place as a nice place for my community to go and congregate, talk about BMX, then maybe I don't even need an email list, because if I'm active in there answering questions with affiliate links and building up that brand, then they're going to feel more connected to me anyway. So yeah, I guess that's it. That's what I'm going to work on right now, and we'll give you guys an update later on how the community's going and what's going on with that. So thanks for listening. We'll see you guys soon.